Joshi joining in from William O'Neill. Mayuresh, great to have you on. Let's start right there, right? Look at this move on trend. I don't know whether it's suddenly getting people excited because there's also an IPO now, Vishal Mega Mart. Vishal Mega Mart obviously is coming at a much lower valuation compared to trend. Which one would you rather buy? Both? Neither? I don't know. What do you think?
I think Vishal has done exceedingly well, and they've got a legacy of their own. So it's well spread out. They've got a good brand pedigree as well. And therefore, I think the kind of numbers that they're probably doing is getting reflected on their balance sheet. Obviously, it's an OFS at this juncture. But again, I think the company is doing quite well in terms of cash flows itself. Similarly for Trent, I think the way they have reinvented themselves, obviously there's a huge correction that we saw. Primarily on two reasons. One, I think valuations have become too stretched after they hit an all-time high a few months back. But at the same time, I think there was a lot of skeptics who were arguing whether growth will come back and numbers will show a compounded increase year after year, what they've probably done in the past 2 years. But as we've seen in the past, they are reinventing themselves. They've got a good strategy on board over the next few years as well. Zudio has done exceedingly well for them. And again, I think the reimagining of Zudio that they've probably done, the price points remain extremely attractive and lucrative in terms of both same sales store growth, volume growth. And therefore, I think on the consolidated numbers, what they're probably doing with Zudio, what they're doing probably with Westside, Sara, a lot of private labels on the Westside format as well, which is aiding margin growth and margin performance as well. I think numbers might hold up for trend. That now the stock is expensive, shall remain expensive. The only issue should be remains that if they miss a quarter because of elevated expectations. But till that point of time, I think if they deliver a number, that the momentum can very well continue.
Okay, that's trend. Very quickly, Mayuresh, you didn't tell us about Vishal. I don't know if you've seen the issue or not, but quick 30 seconds. You like it or haven't seen, avoid? What is it?
No, so I just mentioned. So I said they've got a good distribution network. They're present in most parts. They've got the good cash flows. And therefore, I think they've got a brand category behind them as well. So yeah, I think investors can apply, but I think we need to probably have a little bit of a longer term view because this money is probably not coming onto their balance sheet at the moment.
Mayuresh, I don't know whether you track Jain Irrigation. Out of nowhere, when we started the show, we were just highlighting that 1.5 crore shares were traded on a stock that normally have 50 lakh every day. Now there are 3.5 crore shares traded. The stock has gone through the roof. Track it? Any view on it?
No, I don't track it after today. I think the darling of yesteryears, but I don't track it anymore.
Mayuresh, I want a quick view on a couple of other names. The cement pack is buzzing today, and what's outperforming today is actually Dalmia Bharat. That's up close to around 3.5%. Yes, it's been a big underperformer. I think from the peak, it's still down 25%. What's your view on it? You know, I recall when the numbers came out, the street was saying that it's a weak set of numbers, but I think the call that we had made here is that it'll open lower and maybe in fact it'll see buying interest because of the valuations. Your view at around 1,965?
So decent performance last time around, Nigel. And again, I think the expectations of the second half remaining strong for the pack as a whole continues. So to that extent, I think because of Maharashtra elections, we probably might see a dampened Q3 in terms of expectations, but Q4 will where the recovery will probably come through. You've already heard and are hearing about reports of price increases being taken in large parts of the country. And therefore, I think as these price hikes gestate into the market, there might be one round that might even come through in the next 6 months. Having said that, I think the expectations in terms of volume growth seems to be decent, not just for Dalmia Bharat, for the entire pack as well. The expectations in terms of leverage playing out, with price hikes being taken into cost remaining moderated, operating leverage clearly gets played out as utilization levels will pick up for the industry as a whole. And therefore, I think as government capex picks up specifically in rural urban affordable housing, in roads, ports, infrastructure development, I think the volume growth should also come back very, very strongly in Q4 and Q1 of the next financial year. Well, having said that, I think anybody holding Dalmia should hold on. What we really like is Ultratech within the large cap names, JK Cement within the mid cap.